Despite BRM5 being only a few years old, it has a good amount of history. It's seen many operations, each with their own specialty. It's seen changes big and small, and things getting added and removed. Some additions will remain in the memories of the community, while others are forgotten and lost to time. I'm making this video as a part 2 of my forgotten locations of BRM. This time, instead of only covering locations, we will cover all types of things such as characters, enemies, features, and much more. The UNJTF commander was an NPC that would help new players at the FOB. Players were able to ask him certain questions and he'd help them by answering them. He'd also give players lore and backstory of Ronograd. He was removed after the release of Resurgence. Along with all other friendly NPCs that were in the game, he is unlikely to return and is more of a forgotten past of BRM5. Casimir Sava is one of the earliest characters of BRM5, dating back to Operation Shadow Ray. We never get to see his actual face or what he looks like. From what we know, he was a suspended police lieutenant that predicted a zombie apocalypse in Ronograd. He left multiple messages around the map, hinting that he knew and tried to convince others of the impending doom. These notes have been removed a long time ago. To clarify, BRM5 had 2 occasions where there were zombies. The first was in Shadow Raid and the second, in the Halloween 2020 event. Dr. Lakewell was a character in the FOB during the Halloween 2020 event. He worked for the Platinum 5 Biohazard Containment Unit. He'd give players quests for the Halloween event if they talked to him. He's most famous for his zombie quest, where you have to investigate a forest at night and survive waves of fast and deadly zombies. He was removed after the Halloween 2020 event and is unlikely to ever return. Nevertheless, he did play a small part in the lore of BRM5, hinting that there was something dark lurking in Ronograd. The RPG operator was an enemy in Operation Viper. It was extremely deadly, wielding a RPG-7 rocket. He'd fire at players when they're seen, and the damage of the rocket would almost always instant kill when it detonates. The RPG operator spawned at almost every location, easy or hard. It was removed after Operation Viper and is unlikely to return. The enemy Attend was an enemy close air support vehicle that would strafe the main street of Ronograd City. It only spawned when the enemy insurgents are raiding the city. It was able to pretty much kill any players that weren't taking cover when it was strafing. It was removed with the release of Resurgence and was never seen again. The SAM battery was an anti-air missile launcher that would defend Fort Ronograd and Naval Base. It would shoot down any aircraft that came within range with deadly accuracy. It could be destroyed by players, though this was unlikely because it had a very large health while players only had limited ammunition. It was removed with the arrival of Resurgence and was replaced with the SAM truck. The breaching system was a very basic feature that gave you options on how to open a door. It would allow you to open a door slightly, kick it down, or open it normally. Barely anyone used this feature because of how bad the AI was back then, and it was removed after Resurgence. Raid mode was a PvE game mode where you and your squad mates are sent in to raid a compound and complete some objectives. Upon completing the mission, you'd get a chance of getting the C7A2 assault rifle. This game mode only had one mission called New Dawn. It was later dropped by the devs when Resurgence came around and was permanently removed. It was famous for its beautiful soundtrack made by Panzer V1. The aircraft carrier was an aircraft spawn located near Ronograd City. It was stationed on the shorelines of Ronograd City and was able to spawn 10 warthogs. Despite it being a friendly location, it wasn't accessible through the main menu, meaning that players can only reach it by helicopter. It was removed later in Resurgence after becoming a basic prop without its spawning abilities. That's all the forgotten things of BRM5 that I can think of. I will probably make a part 3 on this subject sometime later in the year. If any OG players are watching this, please inform me of any inaccuracies and suggest me more forgotten things to cover about. As always, thanks for watching.